Okay, welcome back. This is part one of lesson 8.2. Today we're going to be looking at categorical data and its frequencies. So our content objective is we will understand how to recognize possible association and trends between two categories of categorical data and be able to identify a joint relative frequency and a marginal relative frequency. So let's talk about relative frequency. So first of all, if we look at here, like if we see we've got some data. Would you rather play soccer, basketball, or volleyball? And then let's say 4 students go with soccer, 23 say yes to basketball, and 5 for volleyball. The total here is 32. And there's different ways we can express these frequencies. So the total is out of 32. Let's make a relative frequency table expressed in decimals. So that would be 4 out of 32, which is going to equal 0.125. For basketball, it's going to be 23 out of 32, which is 0.71875. And for volleyball, we've got 5 out of 32, and that equals 0.15625, and the total is 32 out of 32, which of course equals 1. So that would be in decimal form. If we want to express the relative frequencies as percents, we just change each of these into a percent. So this first one, 4 out of 32, is 12.5%. This frequency is going to be 71.875%, and for volleyball it would be 15.625%. And all we have to do is just multiply each of these decimal frequencies by 100 to get the percent frequency. And then this one will be 100% because that's 1 times 100. Okay. So there's 2 types of relative frequencies found in a relative frequency table. There's joint relative frequency and there's marginal relative frequency. So what's the difference? Well, in a joint relative frequency, we're looking at things where dividing frequency that is not in the total row or the total column, it only tells you a portion of the total. So dividing frequency that is not in the total row or the total column. Okay. It only tells you a portion of the total. Portion of the total. Okay? All right. Marginal frequency, on the other hand, is dividing a row total or a column total by the grand total. So, dividing a row total or column total by the grand total. Okay, so let's expand on that idea. So now we're going back to favorite sport, soccer, basketball, or volleyball, but now we're splitting that up between boys and girls. So we're still going to use our same data from before, 4, 23, 5, but we've now split it up amongst gender. So now we're looking at 2 categories instead of 1. Before we were just looking at the category of what sport they like. Now we're looking at what sport they like between gender. So we've got 2 girls like soccer, 2 boys like soccer, total is 4. For basketball, 12 girls, 11 boys, total is 23. Volleyball, 4 girls, 1 boy, total of 5. And so our totals are 18 girls, 14 boys, total of 32 students all together. And now in the next video, we will look at how to break down these frequencies to look at relative frequency versus marginal, or I'm sorry, joint relative frequency versus marginal relative frequency.